All right, Kevin, we're at day 2 of Evolve, and I think I heard the word data at least 65,000 times. Um, that's the talk of the show. What do you think of what we've seen so far?
Yeah, and that's a good call out. I think I counted 75,000, but we're used to hearing AI, those two letters, a whole lot, and now I think we're starting to hear kind of that data term, many more times as well, because I think there's a realization that data comes first, and then AI is kind of enabled by that. So I think we're really seeing that kind of come back around. So I'm glad to hear it 65,000 more times. I hope we do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think as we look at like where the industry is going and the trends that we're seeing, what I call AI data great awakening is happening. It's been very clearly articulated that we need AI, but what we're seeing from a data practitioner perspective is data quality is not there. Are you seeing that as well?
Absolutely, and I think there's been a realization, of course, with large language models that are, trained on publicly available data, the entirety of the internet, and that kind of opened people's eyes to what's available with this technology. But now, as enterprises start to point these models at their own data, they're starting to see that messiness, and they can't quite leverage it the way they want to all the time without taking care of that, that data hygiene, that data quality first. So we're seeing an awakening for sure in terms of that.
For sure, and it's one of those things, like historically, you could probably hide some bad data quality in some reports. People didn't really trust it anyway, so it wasn't a big deal, but AI quickly exposes it because the value of that data to make a decision now is a lot more important. So we're seeing that for sure.
Absolutely. Another thing we're seeing that's just made easier is access to data that we're seeing data governance issues highlighted because it's so much easier to get at data wherever it lives using AI and natural language to get at that data that enterprises are realizing people have access to data they shouldn't, just based on this new technology is making it so much easier to access some of that data wherever it lives.
Yeah. So now we know data quality is suspect, but we're still hearing a lot from clients to show me the value or the ROI of AI. Is that something that's important, and why is that a big deal?
The ROI, of course. I mean, it's nothing new with AI.
Right.
Companies always wanted to see the ROI of any, for example, analytics project they were going to pursue. You want to be able to see that ROI. Is it worth it? Is it getting you that end product that you want? So then you can kind of iterate back and make it better, or introduce the next use case, the next analytics or AI project, whatever it may be. So that's not a new paradigm. Show me the money kind of thing. Show me what benefit I'm going to get out of this before I spend potentially large sums of money to either build out the initial use case or scale it up to something large. You need to prove that ROI first.
For sure. I mean, I've seen both ends of the spectrum. People scared to invest in AI because they can't determine an ROI, to the people that have gone and spent millions on GPUs that are now sitting idle in a data center. So you have to be super careful of that. And the other part of that is, yes, there is the technology, but there's also the people aspect of it. And the skills shortage gap in the AI space is a real thing. How is Trace3 helping address that with our team?
Absolutely, that's a great topic, that skills gap. But also, I think we're going to see, really a reimagining of those key roles within that, data to AI landscape. Whether it be, data engineers to help pull data in and retransform it for use, or the data analysts to, build out those dashboards and those reports. And also that kind of AI analyst role to kind of, craft that front-end AI experience. I think we're going to see kind of a melding of those that's enabled by technology. If you have that clean data available, now you may see that data engineering, that data analyst, that AI analyst, those roles kind of coming together, and it may all be done with some sort of agent framework where you're kind of, allowing agents to work with that data, where you may have had, humans doing that before, or you may be able to address those skill gaps with things like agents.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. And as we look at like modernizing, there is investment happening, but there's already been investment by a lot of our customers, right? They've put in modern data platforms. A lot have done that in the cloud with like Snowflake or Databricks or a similar platform like that. How should a client really start thinking about potentially bringing data back, or is the cost measurement, or those things. This to me is a common theme we hear. And from my perspective, what I see a lot of is this investment that needs to be hybrid. Right, you're going to have to maintain some level of hybrid because you have investments, but also because you need to leverage the right platform for the right job.
Right.
You seeing that as well?
Absolutely, and it's a constant reevaluation of that formula. The cost analysis of, should this be in that cloud data platform? Should it be on premises? How forecasting out how this use case is going to scale, and does it make sense to invest in that that capital expenditure to bring it on-prem? Is that going to be where's the break-even point there? And of course, does hybrid make sense? Because it often does.
Yeah, I agree. So, going to go on the record today. I think by 27, 28, we're going to see agents consuming more data than people today. I know that's a little bit of a provocative statement, but I do think that the case is the value and the volume of agents within the enterprise is just going to escalate. Are you seeing similar trends, or you think that we're actually making progress as an organization or as a humanity towards that?
Absolutely, and I think it goes back to that meshing of roles. Right now it's kind of human-centric roles across that data landscape. There are going to be bits and pieces of that are going to be overtaken, I think, by agents, but a key part of that is that skill set to be able to lead that team of agents, code that team of agents, and optimize those agents. So that's a key skill set that needs to be done by a human, and that's going to kind of be ever evolving. I also think that the data engineer persona, which has been so central to kind of addressing data challenges, I think in the near future, what they're able to accomplish, the outcomes are going to 10x potentially, with being able to not only leverage the APIs and tools to access that data more directly by things like agents, kind of take that heavy lifting out of the mix to a big extent.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway for today is AI didn't create the data quality problem, it just highlighted it for everyone. And I think as an organization, you have to be very careful about how you manage, how you understand, and how you use this data to make decisions, because as we evolve and modernize and become more mature with AI, agents are going to take over more and more of that workload. And that's what we're seeing across the stack. So I think walking away from today, that would be the biggest takeaway of things that I think most enterprise customers should understand. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point.
Awesome.